All right, guys, my name's Dr. Cordy Williams, hashtag Megaphone Marine, hashtag 1776 Forever Free. We are on our weekly Recall Town Hall, and what a commercial. Man, we are leveling up around here at Recall 2020. That's an amazing commercial. You guys should be excited about that because it really shows the leadership of a lot of people. Orrin Heatley, the whole crew, Mike Netters, everybody involved in this, Dan, thousands and millions of others around California. But just wanted to highlight some of the things that have been going on with the recall. We're getting some awesome traffic on Facebook and social media. Dan and everybody else, you guys are doing such a good job and really sharing. And all you guys out there, whenever you share or like this, comments that you make, I mean, I think we've had between basically every week 8,000 and 12,000 hits on Facebook. So you guys should be really, really excited about that. Well, we've got some special guests tonight, but before we get to the special guest, I want to turn it over to El Capitan, our Führer, our fearless leader, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Orrin Heatley. Go ahead, Orrin. Brother.
Thank you, Cordy. I appreciate that. I don't think I ascribe to the Führer comment, though.
Yeah, maybe not a good, No.
No.
Not in the only positive sense of our leader.
I understand that, and I appreciate the intro. Thank you very much for that.
No problem, brother.
And welcome everybody to our Wednesday town hall. We have some wonderful guests with us tonight, and one of them is attorney Mark Moiser, a friend of recallgavin2020.com and a champion of this movement. And we're very happy to have you on board. Thank you for joining us, Mark.
Oh, do I need to unmute?
Nope, I just unmuted it. I hope that worked.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, how are we doing tonight?
We're doing great.
Fantastic.
Well, hey, thanks for the opportunity for me to jump in here for a few minutes and just talk about a couple things here real quick. I know Orrin really wanted me to spend a few minutes talking about, what we can do to get signatures and, what's legally the best way to move forward on signature gathering. But before I wanted to do that, I wanted to remind everybody who's on here today that freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. And courts are not quick. And I want to just start off with a reminder of the sacrifices that our founding fathers made in order to remove a tyrant. And I'm talking about King George III. Sitting back here in 2020, we don't really understand the financial sacrifices and the time commitment made by our founding fathers when they fought to remove a tyrant from the United States. We as a nation did not sign the Declaration of Independence until 1776. And peace was not prescribed until 1783. That is 7 years right there. But that doesn't count all the years that we had letters of correspondence going. We had the Intolerable Acts. We had the Boston Tea Party. The fight for our freedoms and to remove the tyrant started in about 1764, I believe, until 83. It was a 19-year battle. And in order to have this fight, yes, there were people who were out there fighting with George Washington, people who crossed the Delaware, people who spent months at Valley Forge. There were the fighters, but there were also people who were at home, who were sending in horses and cows and corn so that the troops could fight. Just because you were not fighting the battle at Trenton does not mean that you weren't providing the funds so that George Washington could fight that battle. And so what I want to start off by reminding you is that freedom is not free and courts are not quick. As many of you know, over the last 6 months, my firm has filed 16 different lawsuits against Gavin Newsom. We have 3 lawsuits right now that are pending before the Ninth Circuit, and the Ninth Circuit is not even going to be hearing oral arguments on these cases until after you guys are done turning in your 2 million signatures to recall Gavin Newsom. Actually, it's going to be the same day. On November 17th, the Ninth Circuit is going to be hearing 2 of our cases. And then they won't make a decision until 3-4 months later after that. So if you are expecting your tyranny to end when some judge rules correctly, that is not the solution. The absolute fastest way to end the tyranny in California is to turn in 2 million signatures to recall Gavin Newsom. And here's the deal. There are right now 6 million school-age students in California who are not able to go to school because Gavin Newsom says that you cannot go. And today, the California Supreme Court basically decided that they were not going to intervene. They had 2 different writs before them, one on behalf of a private school, one on behalf of Orange County Department of Education, and the California Supreme Court today decided, guess what? We do not care about your children and their education. Gavin Newsom can do what he wants when he wants. So if you do not agree with Gavin Newsom or the California Supreme Court, there are 6 million kids in the state of California who have 2 parents. That is 12 million possibilities of someone who is upset at Gavin Newsom, upset at the court, who should be willing to sign your petition to recall Gavin Newsom. 12 million parents in California should be fed up that they have to stay home and can't go to work because they have to educate their kids and make sure their kids get an education right now. You know what? Over the course of the last 6 months, 8 million Californians have received unemployment benefits. 8 million. Just so you understand that there are 24 million working age adults in California. That's 24 million people in the state of California who, if most likely have a driver's license, and if you have a driver's license in the state of California, most likely you are registered to vote. That means 1 out of every 3 people you talk to who is a working age adult has had to be on unemployment as a result of Gavin Newsom's tyranny. That is 8 million people, 4 times as many people as we need to turn in signatures, who are directly affected as a result of this tyranny going on in Sacramento. The only reason why we do not get to 2 million signatures is because we do not have enough people who are willing to give up a half hour, an hour, 2 hours of their time to go get their neighbor's signatures. Now, I know anybody who's tuned in to this broadcast probably is very active in the recall. And I bet you if we started doing a roll call right now, we would find people who have done hundreds, and we'll find people who maybe have even turned in 1,000. And I'm not telling you that you need to stop doing that. We do need you to do that. But there is a thing called multiplication that we need. In order to succeed, We need 10 more people like the people who are on this Zoom call tonight. We need 10 more of you. And we have less than, what, 70 days right now? Where are we at? 68, 69 days right now to turn in our 2 million signatures. We need everybody to do their share. And for those of you who are going to go out there this weekend and get 100 signatures or 500 signatures, thank you very, very much. What I'm about to say is not directed at you. But we need the person who's a keyboard warrior who has not yet got out there and got one signature. We need you to get off your keyboard this weekend, and we need you to go get 100 signatures. Don't tell me, oh, I'm doing my part. I'm telling people all about the recall. We're talking in the circle. The same people are hearing the message. If you have not gone out and got your 100 signatures, you are the problem why we have tyranny right now in the state of California. If you have not got your 100 signatures, if you have not got 2 friends to go out there and get 10 signatures, then you are a part of the problem. You know, the problem in the American Revolutionary War of 1776 is that for most of the time, there was only 5 to 10% of the people who were writing all the letters of correspondence, doing all the complaining about the tyranny. It wasn't until 1776 that the problem got to the level where 1/3 of Americans said enough is enough. We actually need to get rid of this tyrant. As I mentioned, there are 12 million parents right now in the state of California who have child care problems because of Gavin Newsom and his tyranny. When there's only been one minor below the age of 18 who has died in the state of California, Gavin Newsom is shutting down 6 million students from going to school. He's stopping private schools. He's stopping public schools. We have 8 million Californians who are on unemployment. The only reason we don't get 2 million signatures this November, the only reason, is because there are keyboard warriors who didn't gather a single signature. There are people who are willing to talk about how bad things Gavin Newsom is doing, but they never went and walked their neighborhood and got 10 signatures. They didn't go to their church and get 10 signatures. They didn't go down to the beach and get 10 signatures. And that's 10 signatures this week. And it should be 10 signatures next week. And 10 signatures the week after that. Because we are 10 weeks out from our November 17th deadline. And 10 signatures a week for 10 weeks is 100 signatures.
Totally.
Now, guess what? We have some overachievers in this room.
Yeah, we do.
And, and we know who you are. And this effort wouldn't be as far along as it is if it wasn't for those overachievers. Those
Put down the keyboard and pick up a clipboard.
Amen.
Exactly. And here's the deal. If you're at a grocery store and they don't want you there, we don't have time to be where people don't want us to be. If Safeway doesn't want you there, let's not flip the bird. Let's not get upset. Let's go down the street to a different grocery store and let's get signatures there.
Amen. And Safeway's not going to determine whether we have a socialist communist state anyways. So who cares if you get kicked out? So Mark, I really appreciate just the dialogue, the feedback, the knowledge. I know everybody on this panel loves you. I know our viewers do. And you've been moving, the needle on freedom for a long time, and we appreciate it so much. I wanted to turn it over to Mike real quick. Mike, did you have any quick questions for Mark, and then maybe open it up for some more questions for Mark real quickly, and then
Well, Mark, my biggest question of all is the biggest thing that was announced today that you didn't address, that I was frankly shocked, and before you get started, that this happened today. And I want to read the headline to you, which I don't normally do the crowd, but I was actually amazed that the County of Los Angeles declared this. So I'm going to read the headline to you. It says, LA County cancels Halloween. Says no trick-or-treating this year. What amazed me, and by the way, and Mark, like you, I don't encourage lawlessness, but I do want to share my personal plans with everybody. I do plan on going, to Mark's point, door to door with the Gavin Newsom mask on, but I'm going to be passing out petitions. But it just amazes me. It just amazes me the gall of Los Angeles County. It's one thing, everything that Mark says, that we can't go spot to spot, but just the way that they did it. We're canceling Halloween. Mark, I know they really don't have the legal right to do it. I know seriously what they mean. But to your point, that's exactly why, and I'm getting ahead of myself on October 31st, we need everybody to get out there. And I think really that the government's effort to suppress people from getting out, period, has gone beyond the macabre and the mundane. I mean, a quick, Mark, we do have a short show here. If you could give us a 1-minute answer. I realize the headline is phrased a little draconian, but specifically, doesn't it seem a little weird that they can just cancel people going door to door on October 31st?
Well, what I like to say is when you find somebody who has something like that they're upset about, you turn their rage into action. Somebody on social media today who says, can you believe they've canceled Halloween? You say, I can't believe this tyranny that's coming out of Gavin Newsom. Here's a petition, 10 signatures on it. Please go get me 10 signatures to express to Gavin Newsom, to express to Mike Garcetti that this is tyranny and he needs to be returning to the people of California our freedoms.
Excellent. And I hope you do take me up, Mark, and I hope to see you door to door with a Gavin Newsom mask on Halloween. But before we even get to Halloween, I think it's a great idea. For starters, it would help raise money for the recall. I told this to Orrin before, that if we could just sell Gavin Newsom masks, we might help finance a lot of what we do. But also, before we get to Halloween, before we get to the next guest, one thing I'd like to tell the crowd about is a couple different things coming up, and the biggest one of all, because we always look backwards at what we haven't done. And Cordy, I did see you marching in Dallas, I believe, this weekend. Is that correct? Right. With Walk Away. And for everybody up there, pardon?
I was with Brandon Strzok and David Harris Jr.
Correct. And on the 19th, Cordy is going to have the unfortunate response of actually being in the same domain as me and the rest of the recall. And I mean that facetiously, because on September 19th, we are doing a huge gathering in Sacramento. And one of the things—
I have big news. Can I interrupt real quickly? We confirmed another—
Good luck with that.
Well, I did anyways, but I'm going to hand it back. I promise. It is hard to interrupt anybody on this panel. Let me just say, we're all professional talkers, right? So Bobby Henlin, the injured vet that the article came out about in the Atlantic, that supposedly the liberal fake news, #fear porn media said that President Trump said that he didn't say. Bobby Henlin is a confirmed speaker. He will be there on the 19th.
Excellent. And we're making sure to put those flyers up. And I want to stress a couple things. One, on the 19th in Sacramento, let me get my 3 minutes of fame in here, right? It might be 4.5. I won't take as much time as Mark. Mark and I are going to have a talking contest one day, and we'll do some side bets.
I get paid. Remember, I'm a lawyer. I get paid for the words that I write. So you're going to have
I'm an idiot. I do it for free. So who are you trying to show up on the show?
He's a better interrupter than you. He's a professional interrupter. See,
I know, exactly. But here's the thing. On the 19th in Sacramento, we realize there's events up and down the state. The recall also realized that there's many people out there who don't have the resource to take care of what they want, what they need to do day to day. So in conjunction, the recall drive and Cordy's 1776, we're asking everybody to bring some non-perishable foods that we're going to collect and bring them to a local food bank, all right? Because the recall not only is about freedom, it's about helping others, which we're pretty sure the socialists aren't doing. And that is on the 19th, right? On the 12th, in Riverside, which is just coming up, we're also having a big event at the Riverside Courthouse where I'm going to be speaking. There's going to be other speakers basically talking about supporting the police and doing other things. And we encourage you to come out there too. For everybody else on this call, Facebook Live, up and down the coast, we realize, to Mark's point, to everybody's point, there's over 300 events every weekend. Those are two I'm bringing up. Well, frankly, because I'm going to be at both of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Get the hook out now, Cordy. Get the hook out.
Do I need to hook?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So
there you go.
Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. Is that, can I say that, Mark? I don't know. But at any rate, so yes, the 12th, it's going to be awesome. Excuse me, the 19th, it's going to be awesome. Saturday, the 19th at the North Steps of the Capitol. That's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We've got Dr. Simone Gold, Joy Villa, Buzz Patterson, myself. We've got Reagan Scott from Turning Point. And we also have Bobby Hinlin that I just talked about. Recall is going to be out there, or in his masterful leadership nature, because we love him. He organized the shock and awe, and I didn't know what that was. That sounds like the military in another Iraq war that will last forever, but thank God that's not happening. But it actually is some amazing bikers and vets and a big conglomeration of guys just driving around the Capitol making noise about how much they hate Newsom. So those
can I take 10 seconds to talk about the shock and awe? The
Yes.
Rolling Recall Thunder. Okay, this is the Rolling Thunder Rally, statewide caravan. We are asking everybody, it doesn't matter, every car club, every motorcycle club, every hot rod club, every lowrider club, get your posse together, round them up, and converge on the Capitol between 10 and 1. We will be out there taking food donations. We will also be taking your signed petitions. We will also be taking your donations curbside as you roll by. Make some noise, be heard, be seen, be loud. Okay, and I just want to say that I am personally under attack by Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg took my personal account down. I've had it for about 10 years. And after I started posting about the Rolling Thunder Recall Rally, food drive, Drive to Survive, they disabled my entire account for no good reason. I take personal exception to that. I am contesting it, but right now I don't have a really anything, a leg to stand on. They own the company. It's their platform. Thank you very much for allowing us to rebroadcast on Facebook Live. But you folks need to know that we have their attention. Everybody's asking, how many signatures do we have? We have quite a few signatures. We are not in the comfort zone. This is Coach Oren talking. We are not in the comfort zone. We need you guys to get off your keyboards, grab a clipboard, start circulating. This is an urgent call to action, okay? And if you haven't logged on to our website yet, you need to do so. Enter your email with the website. That way we'll be able to stay in connection with one another in case they take all of our groups down and all of our personal accounts away as they're attacking seemingly patriotic posts and patriotic Facebookers. That's all I have to say. And on to the next guest.
Awesome. So, Mr. Netter, do you want to introduce our next guest? I didn't add the T to that one. I don't know why.
By the way, thank you for not adding a plural to my name.
Yeah, I used to call you Netters. I don't know why.
You do that. It's Sonia, I believe, correct?
It should be Sonia if we can add her in. Oh, she had to do a evidently a holding call on the defense. She cannot make it tonight.
That's what I thought, because I didn't see her on there. I would like to talk about something else, and we can give Mark the floor a few more minutes. One of the things we have people, and Oren, I haven't even told you this, and Oren and I talk too many times a day, but I'll leave that alone. Calm down, calm down. So there's a lot of paid petitioners out there who get paid to collect signatures. Isn't this just in? What always amazed me, and it still amazes me to this day, and many of them do use our petition as a lead-in to get other signatures. We understand that, right? For those of you out there, understand we're not paying those petitioners right now. They're collecting for free. I got 2 phone calls today from 2 paid petitioners who have 10,000 signatures that they've collected to send in free of charge. So understand, for all of you out there, my point being, there's a lot of little pockets of signatures being held, 3,000 here, 2,000 there, 4,000 there. And we need to make sure that they get into us to be vetted so we can get them out there. I'm continually amazed each week by the number of people, and I'm not really speaking to you, the volunteers out there who are part of the system, but to Mark's point, there's a lot of people out there that are collecting signatures either on their own, they're paid petitioners who are doing it just out of passion. These are ones that just did it out of passion. They didn't get paid for it. And there's religious groups, there's churches that are collecting 200, 300, 400, or 1,000. Please, all of you out there, make sure they know where to send them in. Don't assume just because you're well aware of the ecosystem, if you will, of the recall, that people know where to send them. They don't, right? I get probably, and Oren gets a lot of these calls each week too. We will pay to get them in central, to get to the people to get vetted, okay? But that's critically important to do. There are literally we asked every week, how many signatures you have? We know how many we have now, approximately, though we keep that close to the vest. But understand, out in the field, there's a lot of them.
Where can they send them? The address is listed at the bottom of the form. The last sentence gives you the P.O. box where you can mail completed signature or petitions to our P.O. box up here at Sacramento.
Correct. And we'll even find a way, if you have, like these people today, a large amount of them, we'll find a way to get them from you. These people have like a case of petitions, right? We'll find a way to get them from them or get them to one of you who are the volunteers, and we'll make sure that we get them. I'm just saying, Oren, I'm amazed almost every week at the pockets that we find. We really don't realize how big some days a statewide movement this is, the power of it. So
if you guys are cool with it, it might be an early night. I'm going to go ahead and move to different questions that we're getting. But
yeah, I think we should. Let's make it like a call-in talk show.
Well, absolutely.
Because we have some long-time chatters. We can do long-time listeners and first-time chatters, if you will.
1-888-NETTERS. We'll add it. Yeah, there you go. Right. There you go.
All right. Hey, on the paid circulators, folks, I get calls weekly because our volunteers are hypersensitive about paid circulators, and we have had paid circulators literally accosted by volunteers that are concerned they're out and up to nefarious things in, circulating. Well, they have other petitions on their table, not ours. And well, they're not circulating ours properly. The J's are swooping down below the line, or they signed into the Secretary of State's, their sloppy signatures. Folks, I'm going to say it loud and clear. Leave them alone. They know their job. They know what they're doing. They know what a valid signature is, and they're doing ours for free. Yes, they're using it as a lead into their table. That's okay. We're still getting the signatures, so leave them alone. Team up with them if you so choose. Sit next to them, put up your table, put up your pop-up, and guide people to the petition that we're circulating. And then when they're done signing our petition, direct them to their table, and we can work with one another. As a matter of fact, I support both petitions that are out being circulated at this point. There's a referendum on flavored vaping, which really is inconsequential to me, but I do know people that vape, and that's an issue that I really don't care about. I do like the other one with the gaming petition, and I think that if you have a casino in California, it should be on a level playing field with other casinos throughout the nation.
Hey, Oren, if you don't mind me throwing a quick thing I found out today, it's actually what it is. It's California. I know. This is what happens. But California, it's not actually on flavored vaping. It's actually, are you ready for this? California is trying to ban menthol cigarettes. That's what that petition is actually for, if you can believe that. Ban a specific cigarette and control our lifestyle. Cordy, back to you. Take control of the show, for God's sakes.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So, couple of people with some comments on our little chat line here are talking about the fires that are, obviously going on throughout California, and talking about kind of getting like a donation drive just for that started again. And they mentioned boots on the ground, which I know Mimi Soros mentioned that to me a couple of days ago. And basically this person saying to contact you or Aaron Bate about possibly donating things like, just water, baby supplies, pet supplies, etc., stuff like that. So thank you to Aaron for mentioning that.
And that is absolutely correct. Aaron is a friend of the recall. He's a friend of mine. He runs Boots on the Ground. Absolutely correct. Our food drive, the Rolling Recall Thunder, isn't necessarily just for food. People need diapers. They need powdered milk. They need, baby supplies and things like that. So bring them in, and we will help Aaron, and we'll work with Aaron to help replenish those supplies that are badly needed to the fire lines and other people throughout the state that need them.
Awesome. Very cool. So I'm just scrolling through here. A couple of people wondered about if somebody could post the Riverside flyer with the directions on there for the 19th. It's going on the same day, that Saturday, the 19th, that we're going to be in Sacramento as well. And Orange.
No, it's not. It's on the 12th. It's this weekend.
I'm confused. It's going on this weekend,
Shocking.
12th, and then next week. Well, I'm confused because I'm going to be in St. Louis, stinker. So at any rate, I'm going to be in St. Louis, but the recall is going to be in Riverside. So they'll post the flyer down below. 1776 Forever Free will be doing a T-shirt booth in Riverside while I'm in St. Louis by the beautiful Dr. Tanya and her supporting crew and some others that are helping her out. So that'll be awesome. So come by and get a T-shirt. But you can be in Riverside this weekend. Next weekend, the 19th, we'll be at the North Steps of the Capitol. And, a couple of people asked about logistics. There's a Hyatt, I believe it's a Hyatt, right across the street that's really nice. That's where me and a lot of my crew is staying, okay? So you can stay there. As far as the Riverside one, they will post the flyer. Go ahead, Mike.
I want to speak candidly, like I've said before, and this isn't meant to be facetious, but it's going to come out that way, shocking, that if you really want to help people who are displaced by fire, and again, I lost my house in 2007, one of the hardest things to replace is Cordy sells T-shirts. Really, guys, if your house is burned down or you're displaced and you want to do good for both causes, either buy a recall T-shirt or a Cordy T-shirt and donate to a family that's been displaced. That might sound really minor to you, but speaking of someone who left with literally the clothes on our back, we could go buy at a 7-Eleven toothbrushes and some of the essentials that we need. We didn't have any clothing.
It's tough stuff.
So for Cordy's cause, we have recall T-shirts and contribute that way. And it sounds kind of funny, but it's not. And few people have been through their houses being burned. I noticed Marcus left the scene.
Cordy, we got any questions?
Get it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
A lot.
That was great, Oren. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Yes, the goal. So technically, to answer a question, it's 1.5 million, but we're trying to get 2 million. And the reason why is because we know slick hair Adolph Newsom, also known in some circles as Ron Jeremy Newsom. Ron Jeremy Newsom is his buddy's the Secretary of State. So we know he's going to throw out and say that some aren't what's the word? Correct.
Valid.
Even actually are. So we want to be over. You agree on that, Oren?
Yes, I would.
And I'll pop in on this one also.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. It was very sly of you. You were like a panther right there.
I got two computers I'm working on, so
Do your thing.
technically, if you saw what I got 4 screens in front of me. So, the answer to that is this, and I have people who have told me this on social media. They have signed the petition more than once, and when the Secretary of State goes through the petition, there are going to be people who are going to put the wrong address. They don't realize that maybe their address has been updated and they haven't updated their voter registration. And those signatures are not going to be valid. You know, people will have signed this twice. Maybe they remembered that they signed it, didn't know it was unintentional that they signed it twice, or some people may think that they're pulling a fast one by the Secretary of State. The computer system is such that you're not going to pull a fast one by a county if you sign it twice. Now, you sign it a second time if you're not sure that you signed it, because we want to make sure that people have signed this recall, maybe not the one that was circulating earlier this spring. But as such, we need more than the 1.49 million signatures. We have to have 1.49 million valid signatures. In order to do that, you have to set a target substantially higher. And that, as an organization, the number that we have picked, that we believe that if we hit that number, we will have the 1.4, is we need 2 million. And just to add to something, we are not publishing how many valid signatures we have, because we saw 2 years ago when a certain LA senator was going through the recall process, the politicians changed the rules in the middle of the screen. And so rather than sitting on the sideline saying, well, this is not going to get done because they don't have enough, well, you don't know that. And you're not going to be able to say, well, they're not, they're going to do it without me. We need everybody to go get their signatures over the next 10 weeks. And when we have the 2 million signatures, we will let the world know. And until you hear that we have the 2 million signatures, everyone needs to do what they can today. Don't put
Mark,
it on tomorrow. What can you do today to help us?
Mark, I have a question for you. Are you familiar with the recent events in Oregon where they were recalling their governor?
I was aware of that there's a recall in Oregon, yes.
They recently submitted sufficient signatures to recall the governor, and after the validation count by the Secretary of State, they were found to be 3,000 short. From roughly 3,000. That's what I hear. I haven't validated that, and I don't want to misspeak, but we do not want to be that group who comes in swinging hard and comes up short in the end.
And that's why we send all the petitions to that P.O. box on the bottom of the form, so that way we validate the signatures, so that way when we turn them in, we know how many valid signatures there are. And if the state plays any games, then election attorneys such as myself are in a position that we could challenge it in the court. If people just go into the Secretary of State's office, go into the county ROV's office and turn in signatures, we don't have the evidence we need to fight this if games are played afterwards. And that is why it's so critical that you turn the signatures, send them to the post office box, or give them to your county leaders and let them turn them in. That is why this process is going on. Granted, if you take them into to the register of voters, they're going to be processed, but we don't have the ability to verify the signatures and actually know what's going on. And that's why it's so important that we have the system in place that we do.
That's awesome, Mark. Thank you so much. I know that shed some light for a lot of people. And I even learned something, which I'm always trying to learn, unlike Mike Netter over there. But at any rate, so Miss Glenda is asking for a favor and asking for some help from everybody. She said, get out and get signatures. Love that, Miss Glenda. I have 3 blocks to get signatures and heading to La Crescenta. Sorry for my Hispanic Latino friends. I'm trying my best there. On Saturday, if you'd like to help, please come do so. We will be at the Ralph's on Foothill Boulevard from 9 to 12. Come on out and help, please. Awesome. So if you guys can, go help Miss Glenda. Let's see, we're going to finish up. I feel like somebody said something about Pelosi and it was negative. I always like that. Thank you for that comment. Nervous Nancy. We don't like her. Let's see here. All right.
I hear the new Karen is now Nancy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That doesn't. Well, now you just call her Nancy, right? Hashtag
That's right.
Nancy. I don't really see any other questions.
I see one that I want to respond to where somebody says, does one bad signature void out an entire petition? And the answer is no, it does not. Because what the process is at the Register of Voters is they receive a sheet. And on the right-hand side, there are a bunch of boxes. And they check the boxes of those that are valid signatures. And so what ends up happening is there is a county employee who types in the last name. And if they don't find you by the last name, then they try by the address. And if they do not find you by the name or by the address, then they leave that box blank. And after they finish a sheet, they put on a tally sheet, there were 10 signatures turned in, 7 were valid. So, when they type in your name, if you've already signed the petition, the computer screen pops up and says you've already signed the petition. So they're not going to check the box on that particular sheet. And when they get done with each sheet, they grab another sheet and they look at every single signature there and they put check marks on all the ones that are valid and new. And then they pass it on and they just keep going. One sheet after another sheet after another sheet. So rarely is there a sheet that has every single, on one of those long sheets. It's rare that all the signatures on a long sheet have a check mark by it. What your job is to turn as many signatures in between now and November 17th. And the sooner we get to the 2 million, the sooner we get to start worrying about who is going to run to replace Gavin Newsom. But until we turn in the 2 million signatures, we do not worry about that question. Our focus needs to be laser focused on one thing. And it's a number that has 7 digits.
Keep pushing the ball.
Dr. Williams, what is that number?
That
2
number
million.
that has 7 digits in my world is 2 million.
Hey, Mark.
Somebody
Mark, somebody asked about whiteout. And Cordy, what I'm going to say is I want Mark to answer the question about whiteout. There's 3 people with their hand up. If we could go through their answer their hand up, ask them what they would like to ask, and then we'll wrap it up for the show.
I'll find them on here. The only other thing that I was going to say is that November 7th, Mark, I think you'd agree, and we've talked about this before, but just to clarify, like we've all kind of agreed like internally that November 7th is a good date because of all the red tape, rigmarole, and the whole process you talked about. If they don't mail it in by November 7th, it probably won't be counted on the 17th. It might not get there in time. Do you agree with that date? That's kind of a date kind of internally I think we were kind of throwing out. Like, hey, this is the final date to send it in where it can actually be counted probably.
Because of the verification process, we need as many signatures turned in really before November 3rd on election night.
Okay.
After we get done with that, we may be just a few short. So you do not stop collecting just because we get to November 3rd or November 7th. Everybody still needs to gather because the last thing we want to see is on November 16th. Guys, we're 3,000 short. What are we going to do? Because we can, if you continue to gather signatures past November 3rd or past November 7th, and we all of a sudden realize that we are 3,000 signatures short, and somebody has gathered 500 here and somebody's gathered 500 here, we don't go through the verification process. We just send them straight to the ROV to turn it in. So don't stop just because we get to a November 7th deadline. Everybody needs to continue to gather signatures all the way up until Orrin comes out with a press release that says we have turned in all the signatures. Until you hear that, you gather signatures. Now,
Cordy, Cordy, you hijacked my question and you derailed the conversation. Again.
But I will go back to the whiteout here. I will go back to the whiteout.
I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, brother. So
My recommendation is that you don't use whiteout. If somebody makes a mistake, just take the pen and scratch it off and have them fill out the line below. Okay. Just because, you know, the people, the employees at the election office understand that if it's scratched out, that's not supposed to be a valid signature. So the less mistakes you make, the better, but people are human and they make mistakes. I would prefer that you don't use whiteout. Just scratch it out, couple lines, make it clear, and then put the information on the line below. And you know what? There won't be a check mark beside it. They won't consider that a valid signature. But they'll count all the other ones on the sheet. Next question.
Now, for people who, I see a lot of questions coming up regarding signatures and boxes and going out of the lines and all that good stuff. Folks, go to recallgavin2020.com. Click on the About Us tab. Recallgavin2020.com, About Us. Scroll down to Videos. Click on the Videos tab, and then you can scroll down. There's a wonderful instructional video there. It covers all the bases for filling out the petition that you need to know.
All right. Well, anybody got anything else? Because I think it is 7:30. It is that time to go home, get a bite to eat, hug your loved one or pet your loved one, whatever that looks like for you. Anything that you guys want to say in closing, like 2 minutes? So if you want to do one of those frantic last closing things, Mike, that we all love.
We'll give Mike the closure. I just want to tell everybody with their hands up, thank you for joining the call. I'm sorry if we weren't able to adequately answer all of your questions tonight. We do this town hall every Wednesday. Please send your questions into info@recallgavin2020.com. Email them to us. You can email them right to our website, and we will try and either address them next week or answer you via email. Mark?
Go ahead, Mike.
You get the closure, Mike.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought we're Mark. Go ahead, Mark. Anything you want to add?
No, I thought it. Well, did you mean to say Mark or Mike? The two M's.
Mark.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, I'll take the floor since everybody wants to give it to me. Guys, it's time to stop being a keyboard warrior and start being a political activist. We need 2 million signatures. And until you hear that we got 2 million signatures, we need your time. If you are unemployed right now and taking unemployment benefits in the state of California, it's because of this governor. Give us 4 hours of your work week.
Power of the pen, power to the people.
If you are a parent and you are upset about what is going on with your student, with your child, take your kids with you and go knock to all the school parents in your neighborhood. Let's go walk door to door. This effort will happen. Gavin Newsom will be no longer able to terrorize California or the United States of America if the keyboard warriors, those 200,000 people who have joined Facebook groups about how bad this state is, if those 200,000 people simply went out and got 10 signatures a week for the next 10 weeks, Gavin Newsom would be no more. Our problem in California is not keyboard warriors. Our problem in California is that we have keyboard warriors who are not political activists. They're willing to hide behind the screen, but they're not willing to go knock on the door. Please don't be the keyboard warrior. Please, please, please. 10 signatures a week, 10 weeks.
Thank you, Mark. God bless.
Governor, goodbye.
So true. No more jock straps and Gatorade. You got to start throwing dimes. It's a fourth quarter. Mike, real quickly, you want to do your 1 minute hands and facial expression thing that we love?
I want to stress again what Mark said and stress to everybody that the group of us that are volunteering to do this try to be transparent. I watched the questions tonight. There is no big conspiracy theory. We have smart people like Mark. We've got people like me, people like Oren, people like Cordy that are donating our time because the state needs to be changed. It's really not complicated. Getting it set up, getting a motion might have been, it's easy. Go get some signatures. People want to know why to recall Newsom. My God, look around the state. The power's going out. The state's on fire. There's literally ash raining from the sky. Armageddon would be an upgrade, all right? So it's time to go out and make this happen. We've set, there's no big conspiracy here. There's no big plot. There's no register of voters holding signatures. We have to get enough. I can't emphasize more what Mark say. Go to the events, go tell your neighbors, get in your email list tonight and just email everybody you know and go out tomorrow. We have to recall this governor. We have to recall him now. We have to get this done. There's never been, in spite of 1776, in my not so humble opinion, a greater sense of urgency for America than getting Gavin Newsom out of office. Thank you. God bless and good night. We hope to see you over the next couple weekends.
All right, guys. So just remember this weekend in Riverside, that is the 12th. And next week, the 19th, we're going to be at the North Steps of the Capitol. 1776 forever free. You buy a Freedom Fighter t-shirt. It always helps us do these rallies. Okay. And also to, make sure you go to Recall Gavin 2020 and donate $5, $10, whatever you can, because the only way the rallies happen to create something on a national level or a California level is with donations, like with the shirts. The only way that we get these paid signatures or this crew or people that are out there doing stuff and spending their time and their money, right, is through you guys. The only reason they can do this Zoom, pay for any of this stuff is through those $5, $10, $15, $100 donations you guys do. So God bless you guys. We'll be back here next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Love you guys and Semper Fi.
Good night now.
Good night, peeps.